next year. Cornelia Meyer is the head of Meyer Resources, an energy policy advisory group and a specialist in the oil and gas market. She joins us live now from where OPEC is based, of course, in Vienna. Cornelia, good to talk to you again here on the News Hour. Will this work, in your opinion?
It will work. I mean, I think we will certainly see 6 months. We may see 9 months, maybe more. So we will certainly see that, and it will work. What OPEC is trying to do is bring some more predictability into the marketplace. We have seen the price sort of go in a range $50 to $55 ever since they agreed on the cuts last December. Yes, it overshot in January and it undershot at the beginning of May, but that was the range. It will work. The question is how much more and shale will be put onto the market and how quickly it will come onto the market. That is sort of the known unknown.
Okay, the known unknown. When we talk about the shale market, we're talking about the American and I guess the Canadian shale market as well. In that regard, is OPEC the energy providing superpower that it was even just, 2 or 3 years ago?
Well, it still is it still has, in terms of reserves, they have about 80% of reserves. In terms of production, they have a little bit less than 50% of production, so it's still very big. But it's that incremental shale production that just tilted the balance. So yes, it has maybe handed in a little bit of power, but it's still the dominant force. And look, if you look at the shale production, even if it's 10 million barrels a day, that is only about 10% of the global supply, or less than 10%. So OPEC, with its nearly 50%, still is the 500-pound gorilla.
The 500-pound gorilla. There's always a great turn of phrase with you, Cornelia, on this program. Listen, if there's a change of heart on the part of the Russians, however, a non-OPEC working partner, in effect, or if shale production in the States and Canada goes through the ceiling, can OPEC react quickly enough? I mean, is it flexible enough?
OPEC is flexible, but I think the Russians will not have a change of heart, because look at it this way. They're doing 300,000. They're doing half of the non-OPEC part of the equation. That's 300,000 barrels a day against 10.7 million barrels a day of production. That is nothing. And the huge uplift we saw in the oil price due to the OPEC cuts really helped them fill the coffers of the oil companies and of the country. So Russia has everything to lose and nothing to gain by not participating and working. Now, shale, we don't know. I'm not so worried about the Canadians because that's mainly oil sands and that's a much higher production cost. But let's also think that the shale space in the United States has changed. A lot of big oil has moved in, big time. So it's no longer just the small entrepreneurial companies who, many of them went bankrupt when oil was down to $30. So now the Exxons, the Chevrons, the Shells have moved in, and they're probably a little bit less entrepreneurial, a little bit more corporate, and a little bit easier to anticipate.
Cornelia, thanks very much. Talk to you later.